but I mean, Loren, it was a strong choice to go with the thongs.
It's the day-to-day life, wanna know what it's like.
Mom!
Just an average family with a few million likes. We're a husband, a wife, and a kid in the limelight.
Mom!
24/7 just to F and get by.
Mom!
It's a house full of love, no we can't let it fade. So let's add a podcast just to make it insane. It's that MOMager life, we take it day by day.
Mom!
What do you want? I'm trying to sing a f***ing theme song.
Oh my goodness.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to MOMager, a Barton fam podcast where we take you behind the scenes of Hollywood family life. I'm Felicia.
I'm Malachi.
And I'm Loren.
Before we get started, make sure you take a second to like, subscribe, follow wherever you're listening or watching this podcast. And also don't forget to take a second to head over to our Patreon and follow us over there as well, where we take you further behind the scenes of MOMager.
I'm so excited to introduce you guys to our guests this week because we have some of our closest friends, family.
That's right.
Family.
There you go.
Family.
Get it right, will you?
We have Luke, Aaron, and Kenda Benward.
Woohoo!
Let's give
Come
it
on now.
up.
Nice.
Welcome to the pod.
I love the applause. It makes us feel
we
really
have
good.
applause.
Luke, I just want to say thank you so much for zooming in with us today. You're our first Zoom guest. So
That's
this has
right.
this has been great. And,
Nashville, Tennessee.
And Aaron and Kenda, thank you guys so much for having us. Or thank you so much for coming into the studio to do a podcast.
I
I'm so excited.
know.
Thank you for inviting us.
Oh my
Of
gosh.
course.
This is
Of
exciting,
course.
and I love your opening montage
Our little
jingle.
sitcom intro.
I love
Luke,
it.
had you seen that before?
I hadn't, no, but I mean, Loren, it was a strong choice to go with the thongs.
I was.
On the ladder. I love that you pointed that out. That's so
awesome.
good.
Whoa, thongs.
I don't think I've heard them called thongs
Yeah,
in a
thongs,
while.
dude.
Luke. I
straight
literally
up just
didn't
saw
know what you were talking
I just
about.
thought you were telling my dad that he was wearing a thong, and I
Yeah.
was like, hang on, what'd you just say?
You're referring to my flip-flops.
Yes, he was. Yes. Look.
Let's look a little closer. Roll that back.
Is that what they call them in Music City? Thongs?
No, in general. They
They're
are
thongs
thongs.
for your feet.
They're
Yeah.
toe thongs.
I think we did. I always called them that. So I think my kids kind of always called them thongs.
Really?
Yeah. And
Instead
then
of flip-flops.
thongs became a thing.
Yeah.
We called them flip flops, but yeah.
Until I
That's
actually
amazing.
bought a thong and wore it around the house, and then we.
Oh.
All right, Luke, our viewers and listeners, I'm going to have to read this off because the list of your resume goes freaking deep. Our viewers and listeners may know you from your roles like Will in Disney's Cloud 9, which shout out Cloud 9 was one of my favorite movies. Billy Forrester in How to Eat Fried Worms. Bo in the Netflix film Dumplin'. But you were also in We Were Soldiers because
So
of Winn
good.
Dixie, Dear John, and the other Disney Channel original movies, Minutemen, Girl vs. Monster, but the resume keeps going on.
Wow.
Field of Lost
Failed
Shoes.
movies on there that aren't working.
Seriously. Field of Lost Shoes, Playing God, countless other shows like Girl Meets World, Good Luck Charlie, and we also have in common the fact that we were both on CDAD Run, which I didn't realize until
Oh, really?
we were preparing for this
Yeah.
podcast.
I didn't realize that you had done that one and that both of you had done. That's crazy.
What were you, like, infant on that show? Malachi?
Basically,
What was
yeah,
it?
I was a
Was.
baby. No, I was a baby. I was
Well,
really
I just-
tiny.
Malachi played I don't remember what his actual name was on that episode, but it was the stinky kid.
Oh, nice.
he
Oh my
was
God,
a
I
stinky
did.
kid.
I
Stinky
did.
kid.
I completely mixed up CDAD Run and Young and the Restless for some reason.
Oh no,
Oh,
you were
gosh.
the
I
stinky kid.
I was
and it
the
was
stinky
because
kid.
like your socks smelled so bad. And the whole premise of that episode, he literally, Scott, the dad on that,
Scott Baio, right?
Scott Baio, yeah.
Yeah.
He had to he took the socks and threw them in the closet and then finds them later. Anyways, he was a stinky kid.
It was crazy.
That's
It
Malachi.
was that like on your dressing room door, stinky
Stinky
kid?
Stinky kid.
We can only
Probably.
hope
I
so.
think it
I
probably
should go
was.
back and
That's so
figure
good.
that out.
Luke, I think me and you might be tied now for DComs.
Yeah, are we?
I think so. I think I might have him tied.
Yeah, 3 and
Yeah.
3. Yeah, when Zombies comes out. I know, it's
Shout
crazy.
out.
Okay, and then also I do want to point out the fact that you actually are the most OG when it comes to zombies. You
Come
are the
on.
OG.
This is true.
You are the OG for sure, for sure. Like
The
you,
original Zed.
The
I-
original Zed.
There we go.
is.
That's crazy.
Look at that.
That's
I
amazing.
know.
So yeah, if any of you guys didn't know, Luke Benward played the original Zed in the initial pilot for Zombies.
Tell me about that.
Can we also
Luke.
talk about Julian in the
All
background?
right, there's Julian.
Guys like us. Let's go.
Guys like us. Oh, I forgot about that.
It's crazy.
Hilarious.
Tell us about that, because I don't think very many people realize that Zombies actually goes back to 2012,
Mhm.
and it was a pilot.
Yeah, it was.
It was, yeah. Yeah. I was still living here and I had been really resistant to doing pilots, really, because
Yeah.
I wanted to stay in Tennessee and play football. That's my whole childhood basically was balancing public school and football and auditioning and doing movies. I mean, it just was crazy in that regards. So the first pilot I did for Disney Channel was called Madison High. And
Mm.
it was supposed to be like High School Musical, the TV show that they made, but it was called Madison.
The musical, the series, the musical, the series, the
I,
musical. the
I
series.
never know how many musicals I'm supposed to say to get it right.
A lot.
So that was it was going to be single cam, like musical around like high school. I was like a motocross guy who turned to
Yeah.
That pilot didn't go, but off the back of that, they came to me with Zombies and Cheerleaders, which off the initial pitch, I was like, no,
No.
like insane, and I'm also a little bit miffed at the fact that I did a pilot with y'all and
Totally.
you didn't pick it up. Like, no, I'm gonna keep doing my thing. I'm gonna play football. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, Gary Marsh, like, fly to LA. We're flying to LA. So fly to LA and I sit down with him and I have questions like what's it gonna feel like? What's the vibe of Zombies and Cheerleaders? Like, Madison High, I can understand it's just High School Musical and TV show. Zombies and
Right.
Cheerleaders, what's the
Yeah.
the vision here? I didn't really have, multicam wasn't really in my bones at that point. I just been doing film mainly. And so the single camera of Madison High, was very alluring to me. I wanted to make sure it was single cam for Zombies and Cheerleaders. It was. And I asked him, I remember this. I said, what are the zombies going to look like? And he said, well, Luke, they look a lot like you.
No.
Oh, yeah. Is that not the ultimate pitch from the head of the freaking network to get the guy to
That
sign
is
on?
a great
Wait,
pitch.
what are the zombies gonna look like?
They
They're
look like
gonna
you.
look a lot like you. I
That's
love
hilarious.
that. That's so
He
funny.
did it. He landed the pitch. We did Zombies. It was really, really, it was cool. The vision for it was like, we
Yeah.
want to do something like very like not normal for Disney.
Yeah.
It was like very whimsical and very tongue in cheek. They had got this director who at the time had just came off like Harold and Kumar.
Oh, fun.
So it was like he was not at all Disney like machine, and the pilot came out really cool. I see why they didn't pick it up because it was very like it would have not been out of place
Oh, interesting.
for Disney Channel. It was very.
But it's so crazy that something can start in 2012 and then it didn't become a decom until 2018.
Yeah.
And now 2025 and Malachi's, it's a very that's
wild.
super wild. How long it
Yeah.
can take for something
At
to
the
really
time,
come
they
to
said
fruition.
that they wanted to make it into a trilogy. They were like, we're not going to make the
Interesting.
but we're going to turn it into a trilogy. And I was like, oh, perfect. Well, they scrapped that whole idea for however many years until they eventually were. They made the decom with Milo,
Yeah.
and it blew up. Yeah, now
Yeah.
they did it right.
Yeah.
Did it.
That's crazy.
I can't wait for you guys to see. We've
Zombie story.
we showed you some pictures
Yeah.
from behind, because you guys are family. So clearly
We can trust you.
We can
Yes.
trust you.
Yes.
We made you sign the NDA.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it looks so different now. Like
Yeah.
even the evolution of Zombies from Zombies 1 to Zombies 4.
Yeah.
But the evolution from like the beginning, the very first pilot, somebody had an idea.
Yes.
Isn't that wild? Like how
Mhm.
Hollywood works. So you have an idea and you might not see it
Mhm.
happen for years, but it's like sticking with it is
It's the age-old story in this town, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
you hear whether it's an Oscar-nominated movie or
Right.
Oscar-winning movie, we started this 12 years ago, and
Right.
kind of thing.
Mhm.
And that's somewhat of the secret honestly, sometimes to be able to be successful in this business is figuring out a way
Yeah.
to show up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you're starting out and you're a new artist, it's like, how can you, unless you get something, you land something that is the less of the 1%, the one of the 1%
Right.
that do.
Exactly. Yeah.
How do you sustain a living? How do you pay for a lifestyle while you're pursuing it until something could potentially happens? That's why the attrition rate is so big sometimes. People just can't figure out ways to keep doing it.
In the last week, I've had lunch with 2 different guys, mega talented dudes, and both of them are in that exact spot where they're like, I have a dream. I have big things I'm working on creatively, music, scripts, but I'm struggling to pay rent, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stay in the game. What should I do? I mean, that's very, very real in this town.
It is.
I remember when I, right after we first moved to LA, I was talking to my buddy Smitty, who I've done a ton of music with over the years. And he was telling me, he said, I feel like the music business is just this big, long line that everyone gets in. And I feel like it goes for Hollywood too. Like it's this line you get in and you're just kind of like, you got to wait in line and you eventually you're going to make it to the front for something, you know, but like some people get out of line because they're hungry and they got to go. Somebody gets out of line because they got to go pee. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is that gets you out of line, sometimes you get out of line, but the longer you wait in line, the closer to the front of it you get.
Yeah, that's
true.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That was bars.
Yeah.
Bars.
It's been a great show. Appreciate it. That was
Thank
fantastic.
God. Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you for watching MOMager.
Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, and we will see you next time.
Luke, you have done a ton as an actor, even obviously not just as a child actor. But when you do look back at your time as a child actor, what's one of the most fun projects that you were a part of?
Oh, it's probably a movie called How to Eat Fried Worms.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a cool one. It was, the movie is basically, for those that don't know, it's based on a book.
Yes.
And a part of a lot of school curriculum. So
I read it when I was a kid.
yeah. So the movie then came out and now it's part of curriculum to probably watch the movie.
That's great. Oh, wait, to watch the movie as a part of it? I'm sure.
Yeah, when I was in school and I read the book, the movie wasn't out yet, but I remember, you read Romeo and Juliet, and then you'd watch, Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet.
Right.
The teacher would be like, "Don't tell your parent." I imagine it's probably, there's some kids in school watching that movie somewhere, but it was basically about like boys on a summer, and Billy that's who I played. He's new to the school, and he gets challenged that basically he has a weak stomach, and he's a little bit self-conscious about that, and he gets challenged to eat 10 worms. And he basically show the school bully that he has what it takes. He eats 10 worms, and they make each one like worse and grosser, and each one.
What were the worms? Do you remember what they were that you had to eat?
Yeah, probably. The best tasting one looked really gross. But
Wait, you ate you had to eat like actual worms?
No.
No, I ate a real.
Well, that's just boring.
It was fake worms. It was fake worms.
But you did eat a worm.
I did at the premiere. Yeah. We all ate a worm at the premiere.
Ew.
Did on the red carpet.
That's great.
And I found out I was one of the only that like chewed it. The rest just swallowed it whole. Gross. Don't
recommend it?
No, it doesn't taste it at all. A little bit like vomit. Like
God.
like a gusher, of vomit.
You can't do this to us, Luke.
It just explodes in your mouth. Does it make that like
did you have to eat like a big worm? Like was it like one of those chunky like grubs or whatever they're called?
It was an earthworm. It was like the
long night crawler.
Nice.
Yeah, like the one you pull out of the moist
the
dirt.
ground before you like put it on a hook to go fishing or something.
Yeah. Exactly.
Was there a little earth left on it?
A little earth.
There was earth in it.
That's amazing. Oh, that's great. I love that.
That one was a blast. Bunch of little we were all the same age. I was probably 10. I think I was the youngest. I was probably like 10 or 11, and a lot of the other kids were like 13, 14. And it was like just a month and a half really of like summer camp. We all stayed in the same hotel, woke up every day and had fun with these crazy scenes of eating worms. And it was one of those stories where there was like a kid named Techno Mouth in the movie, and then there was like Twitch. So each of these kids had these weird, funny little quirks to them. And It was just a blast. And the director, that Bob Dolman, was a blast to work with. He was just really good with us kids. And that was a fun one for sure. I remember we played Halo. We'd go in the schoolroom. Some of the kids were emancipated, so they got to just play Halo in between scenes. I do school. But
Fair enough.
the whole schoolroom vibe was really cool.
I can imagine. How many boys are on that?
11 kids.
That's a lot. That's just kids in okay.
11, it was all 10 boys and 1 girl.
That is insane.
There's a story behind this though. You got to tell.
You know that when you get a role as an actor, sometimes they'll give you 14 pages of dialogue to know for the next day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And when you're 10 or 11 years old, I mean, that's a pretty tall order, but you do it. And but again, your brains are so young and they memorize like that. So he did. He memorized it.
Back in my day, I used to be able to memorize lines.
Back in your day when you weren't an adult.
I know. I'm just so old now. That
So old, yeah.
Just so old.
Yeah. So he gets the audition for the role of Billy. The role of the bully.
Okay.
And we send off the tape, and they're not really seeing him for that. They're like, yeah, we don't really see you as the bully. So they kind of let it go. Anna Sophia Robb, who you guys know from, Carrie Diaries, Because of Winn-Dixie. Right. She's amazing. She had gone in for the female role, and they asked her when she was in there, do you know any actors that might be good to play Billy? And she said, you should see Luke Benward, which is amazing, right?
Yeah.
That she did that. So they were like, wow, we didn't consider that. But yeah, let's see him for Billy. Send him another 14 pages of dialogue. He learns it in a day. We tape him. Now back then, we're taping on a mini DV.
Oh yeah.
And we're dubbing it to VHS. And we're overnighting it.
That's insane because you're in Nashville.
We're in Nashville. So it's, the quality is not.
Wait,
Malachi doesn't even know what a mini DV is and a VHS.
You're that old, Luke? No, I'm just kidding. That was me.
No, he is.
No, he is.
iPhone was created after a decade I was alive.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Yes. So we didn't have
I remember the iPod.
Exactly. We had iPods. No, but we were dubbing that to a VHS tape and overnighting it. It cost $50 every time we overnighted a tape. Okay.
Dang.
And we were doing a lot of tapes. We overnight the tape. They get it the next day and they like it. And they say, we have a mix and match tomorrow. Can you be here?
No way.
Yeah.
So I said, Luke, you want to go to LA? And we got on a plane in 4 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Flew to LA. Went to the mix and match the next day. And when we were in the mix and match, Bob Dolman, the director, called me in to the room, which they don't do.
No.
Yeah.
Directors don't call parents into the room.
No.
But he called me and he said, I want to meet the mom that got on a plane in 4 hours to get here for the mix and match.
I love that.
It was really
I love
sweet.
it.
Bob Dolman was amazing to work with.
Great guy.
He was amazing. He was the one director that knew that I was Luke's coach.
Yeah.
And when we were on set, if he couldn't get a performance out of Luke that he really, really needed, he was the only director that would turn to me and say, will you help me get this performance?
Wow.
Dang.
It shows humility, right?
That's yeah.
He was so humble. He was so collaborative. And it didn't happen much. It happened like maybe once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
But the fact that his just ego was not even a part of the equation
Yeah.
was so amazing.
I don't know if that would happen with very
Don't get
many
any ideas,
people.
Mom.
No. I'm gonna show up at the next thing and give you all the notes.
Mom's going to be on the next to the camera. She's like,
but from the vocal side of things,
totally.
where I coach him on the vocal side of things, and that's it's still it blows our minds to this day because it's like
I feel like it's similar to working with Matt.
Yeah,
in the
well, you
studio.
would think though that they would want someone who knows his voice inside and out, who understands delivery, who is a professional singer, to be a part of that process. But it's not the case all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But continue.
No, it's true. I mean, as a mom on a set, you're told to sit and be quiet and
So
let
that's-
us do our job.
That's a gift that he gave.
So Anna Sophia suggested Luke read for Billy.
Okay.
All right. So we get the next 14 pages and we put him on tape for Billy. Well, it took us a while to get it that day. And we didn't finish it till about 8 p.m. And the FedEx was closed.
Oh no.
Oh God.
So
This
I
is
had-
the story. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to go to FedEx all the way by the airport. So Aaron was on the road. Everyone's in their pajamas. We get
All the
it.
kids.
All the kids are in their pajamas. We have 3 kids. I get them in the car and we're going to the airport because that's the only FedEx there is. They close at 9:00. We get there at 9:15.
No.
It's closed.
No.
And I'm like, and we're closed. We're
No.
closed. I'm like, I'm holding the VHS tape. I'm
No.
like, I know you're closed, but I need you to get this tape on the plane. And she's like, this lady's crazy. So she peeks open the door and or squeaks open the door and says, ma'am, we are closed. I said, I know, but if your plane hasn't left yet, can you just put this on the plane? And she did.
Yeah, Mom.
No
yeah, Mom.
way.
Let's go.
She got on the plane.
That's amazing.
Good job.
They got the tape the next day. They said, Luke, we want to see you. We got on a plane of 4 hours. He went to the mix and match. At the mix and match, Bob Dolman asked me to come in. He wanted to meet the mom that got on the plane in 4 hours. He said, we love Luke. We love Luke. The one thing we're worried about with Luke is he has such light emanating from him. We're not sure he can go to those darker places.
Wow.
And I said, as his acting coach, I can tell you that he can. He can do that. I know his range.
Yeah.
He goes, okay, will he stay another day and do a work session with me? So we did. And after that work session, it felt as though we were getting the like, thank you, we'll call you, don't call us handshake.
Yeah.
We got on a plane and went home. And on the plane ride home, I said, so tell me how it went in the room. And he said, I think it was good. I said, great. Like, did he gave you direction? Yes, gave me direction. Did you do exactly what he told you to do? Kind of.
This sounds familiar.
I'm like, oh, you kind of did it. Okay. Because we just did all this.
Yeah.
And we got home, 24 hours went by. And I said, we need to do exactly what they asked you to do in the room. We're going to tape again. And he was like, Mom.
They didn't ask her.
He
She just felt
He's
it.
like, Mom,
Wow.
no. And I said,
Sounds familiar. That's exactly what would happen with me and my
Wait,
mom.
Can I interject? It's like, Luke, are you sort of a one-take wonder when it comes to these auditions? Where are you at? Or do you like to do things over and over till you get it just right? Where are you on that spectrum?
At that point in life, I was wanting to be outside, make believe
Right.
that I was whatever I was that day.
Same here.
yeah, he was not happy about the fact that I asked him to do it
But
yet
you had
again.
a feeling. You had a gut feeling.
I had a gut feeling that Bob Dolman wanted him to be the guy, right? You know, so many times we go into casting offices, you know, as actors, and they want us to be their solution to their problem.
Mm.
And I knew that he wanted Luke to be the solution to that problem.
Wow.
And I knew that he missed it by just probably a very tiny bitty, you know, just a little bit. So we went home and I felt it in my gut. I said, we need to tape again. And he said, Mom, no, if they want to see me again, they'll ask it. And I said, I don't think they will. They've sent you Billy. They've sent you the bully. They've flown you in.
Yeah.
They've had a work session and we're home. Let's tape it. So we taped it. And about an hour after we taped it, casting called and said, would you tape him again?
No way.
And you had it ready to go.
I said, it's done. We'll mail it
Yes.
tonight. And he got the role.
That's
Come
incredible.
on.
That's crazy.
Let's give it up, everybody. That's a pretty great.
Yeah.
Kenda, what a
Well,
story.
many times we get an applause, the
It's
better.
never been a double applause day.
Well, we've never had Aaron and Kenda Benward on before.
That's a great story.
Wow.
I love that.
But to his point, they did ask again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
You were right in that scenario, Luke. You were right. I got your back.
I love that. Wow. I love this so much. I feel like, you know, our podcast is about taking people behind the scenes of Hollywood family life. And people won't, you know, they're getting to know us through this podcast, but I don't feel like they will fully get to know us unless they know you guys.
Yeah.
Because you guys have been such a huge part of our journey, you know, and you've been a real blessing to our family over the years with stories like that when Malachi was little, like all of those things, you know. And I'm so glad you brought up that you're an actress and a coach and all of those things, because that's played a huge part in your relationship with Luke, for sure, as his MOMager.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the MOMager thing gets a negative connotation, but what we love about doing this podcast is we're like really highlighting the beautiful side of families. And that it really does take a village. And sometimes it's just a mom and a dad too. And that's the village. Obviously, you know, we've had each other, we've had you guys to lean on for so many years. Wow, that's wild to even say that.
We're
So
getting
many
older.
years.
True
Ugh.
though.
How
But
long
did
have you
it?
guys known each other?
Probably
Oh.
a decade.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Longer, 2 decades.
Well, how long ago did we move here, babe?
12 and a half years
Yeah,
ago.
so
Yeah.
So it was shortly after that.
11 years.
Yeah.
We moved
Yeah.
here
Yeah. It's
13 years ago.
crazy. Yeah. So all of that to say, we're so thankful, for y'all's involvement in our lives, and getting to hear these stories over the years have been just so incredible. But you as an actress and a coach before, how did that, do you feel like it was easy for you to just kind of like go and move into that coaching role with Luke? Or was it like, I'm his coach, but I'm also his mom? How did you balance that world?
I think it was surprising to me that I knew how to coach.
Yeah.
I didn't really ever go into this business wanting to be a coach.
Yeah.
But it allowed me to be a mom
Yeah.
and also do something that I was really passionate
Mhm.
about. And Luke just happened to be really good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was really fun. And it was something that we could do together.
Yeah.
You know?
Did that feel natural for you, Luke? For your mom to just like be in that role?
I mean, I was so young when I first
Yeah.
started. I think that, what I'm thinking about right now really is they just both did such a great job. It's a delicate balance with a kid.
Yeah.
Because like I said earlier, I didn't want, I want to like clear up if there's any like miscommunication of like, I wanted to be outside and make believing, but the heart of that was the make believing, right? And so
Totally.
she and my dad both did a really good job of like, it was always my decision. You love acting? Yes. You love being
Yeah.
on set? Yes. You love playing characters? Yes. Okay. Well, there's things that you have to do, right? Kids don't understand that
Totally.
there's like hard choices that need to be made if you actually want to do this in a real way. And so those things were communicated clearly, and I was then able to choose like, yeah, I do want this, and I am willing to sacrifice this outside time or whatever it was at the
Yeah.
moment, in order to do these things that I wanted to do. So yeah.
The older you got to, did you have moments like we've had moments over the years where, I'm coaching him through so many projects over the years. And then the older he got, teenage years, it started to get a little more like, Mom, I know what I'm doing. And there have been moments for me where I'm just like, all right.
But then she gets
Cool.
really, really mad at me whenever I'm like, Mom, like, I got it. Like, I know what I'm doing. She's like, fine, you don't need me anymore.
Okay, that's a little dramatic.
But
That's
it
a
also
little dramatic.
it also felt the same way with
That's what it is.
it felt the same way with baseball though too, with you, bud. Like there was the early years of baseball where I was his coach.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and he just wanted to run out and play catch every day. And I could, no, put your arm here, swing the bat there. And it was awesome. It was easy. It was effortless. And then he got older, he got better. I thought I was hoping to get better and learn more, but I was certainly not moving at his pace. And there came a point where I remember myself and my assistant coach, we had to say, you know what, if there's something you need to tell, if Malachi needs to know something, Mark, you handle it.
Yeah.
If Christian needs to know something, I'll handle it. You know what I mean? And you just begin to realize I need to take a step back. And then the next level was now we're hiring a professional coach. And by that time, Malachi knew way more about baseball than me. So
Wow.
Yeah, I
it needed
did.
to happen. You know what I mean? Had I tried to stay in that role with him and just keep pushing my way on him, I would have held him back from, his potential.
What was that like for you guys in that transitional time?
Well, one thing we did with Luke, to put the point you were saying, about every 6 months we would have a check-in. We'd be like, okay, let's check in. Is there still something you want to do? Right? Because it's not just as easy as, yeah, this is fun. I want to do an audition. And no, you have an agent.
It's work.
It's a lot of people working on your behalf to get you the audition.
Yeah.
You have casting counting on you. So it really does take communication to be like, is this something you really want to do?
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, then we'll do it for another 6 months and then we'll regroup again.
Reevaluate. Yeah.
Exactly. So that was something that I thought really worked for us. As far as me stepping into the coaching role with him, like I said, it wasn't something I ever thought I would do. But, as we are living a surrendered life, hopefully, God brings blessings to us that we don't even know.
Yeah.
Right? It was such a blessing to me. It makes me emotional, actually. because I got to spend so much time with my son. Right? We got to spend so much time together creating the most incredible like moments and scenes and then laughing. And it was hard at times, but you know, things that are hard, they're worth a lot too,
Absolutely.
right? So I look back on that time and it's such a blessing to me that I was able to take a step back from traveling myself and working as much as I wanted to.
Yeah.
I had 3 kids at home and I needed to balance that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to balance that. But then I felt like after I surrendered that, I just had these incredible opportunities to coach these really talented kids.
Yeah.
And it was Luke and a handful of others. And it was really a beautiful season of life. It really was. And then we traveled together for years and just so many
even
fun
most recently,
memories.
like you were just telling us before we started today, like you guys just did something. The two of you did something like last week.
Yeah, I told her we coached last week together.
We did, yeah. That was fun.
How is that like? Look, now you know you're at a very different place in life. Is that a fun experience? I'm sure it is. What's that like for you?
Oh yeah, it was great. It was great. I mean, yeah, obviously I've kind of gone my direction and learned some things on my own, and so coming back together to the table and like kind of talking about philosophy really around like performance and art and like how do you get like we obviously we have a lot of the same opinions just because what she's taught me has worked. There's other things I've discovered where I'm like, yeah, I think maybe this, or we were able to like really get into the nitty-gritty of like how to prep so the class was we talked to a directing class about how directors communicate with actors. It was great. I mean, yeah, it was really, it was so fun. We got to get the directors like a little bit out of their comfort zone, that it would put them up and had them act. And then we each went back and forth with different scenes of like, all right, so, here's what I want from you. So I'm going to tell you this to try and like spark this out of so rather than just come up and say, oh, do it faster or more energy, which are horrible notes.
Horrible.
Because they don't mean it.
Awful.
Horrible.
God awful notes.
They're horrible notes. Come up and give me something, right? Like, why am I saying it faster? Why? Tell me why.
Right.
Then there's a whole different meaning. Just faster doesn't mean anything. But if I have somewhere to be, or if I'm coming from somewhere where I was stressed and I'm bringing the stress with me so it's just, prepping our curriculum for that 2 classes was awesome. It was a blast. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun. And it was fun to see him in the capacity of teacher, because I've always seen him in the capacity of student.
Wow.
But he stepped into it so well. And he's a phenomenal actor, but he's a really great director. So yeah, it was fun to watch him do it.
We had Danielle Fishel on recently, and she was on Boy Meets World and then Girl Meets World, played Topanga, and she's directed a lot of episodes over the years with Malachi. Well, for Villains of Valley View, and she does a lot of Disney directing now too, and not just but sitcom directing in general. And it's similar. I think it's the like understanding you've been in the actor seat. So I can imagine, Luke, that you are a phenomenal director. Like that just makes so much sense to me.
And that's what we were talking about with the podcast with Danielle, was like the idea of how much easier it is for a child actor to hear a note from another person that was a child actor, because directors go in oftentimes realistically with not as much knowledge as directors come in not knowing exactly what's going on in our young heads. And so as a director, to be able to understand like what's going on in our heads, what is the easiest for us to hear in the moment and all that type of stuff, it's really helpful. Yeah, it's really helpful. But that's always been something that's like been special about working with Danielle, is because it like with other directors, it feels like I'm going in to do a job. And like with her, it's like, hey, we're going in and we're going to work through this together. I know what's going on in your head. Like, let's figure it out. and that type of stuff. It's more of a
So
process.
basically, what Malachi's saying, Luke, is he can't wait for you to be his director.
Yeah,
Hey.
seriously.
Do we have a project for you, Malachi?
Hey.
Let's do it.
I love it.
I need work.
That's right. He's
Says
planning
every
to buy a
actor
house
ever.
soon.
Yeah,
all that
right.
stuff.
That's right. That's right.
All
that's
the
right.
things. That's funny. Okay, well, I also want, we've talked a lot about Kenda. We've introduced Luke. I also want to talk about my brother, AB. Yay!
This has been a great just being able to sit here and listen to them. Like, it's so fun for me. Like, you don't have to ask me a thing because for so long in my past life, it's always been about me behind the microphone. I love you behind the microphone.
Aw.
So much wisdom and so much experience. So it's been cool. But hey, what's up?
But hey, since we're talking about
Since
me,
we're talking about me, keep talking about
Keep
me.
talking about me.
Now that we're on me.
No, we have made so much music together.
Yeah.
So like when our viewers and listeners understand the connections that go so deep for us on like a creative family deep level, you know, I think Malachi, I don't even know how old he was when we first met you guys. 7,
I would have
6,
been
Probably 6 or 7.
6 or 7 maybe.
Mhm.
So that's,
Was
you
it
know,
right after we moved here?
Yeah.
I would have been 5.
Yeah. So maybe, 5 or 6. Yeah. So like
You're a little
very,
guy.
very long time. And we are such good friends. So we've not only had like the acting creative side,
Yeah.
like the spiritual life side of our families as well. But then there's like the creative side, Aaron, that you and I have had. We've written maybe hundreds of songs
Yeah.
together.
So many.
Like
so
so
many.
many songs.
So many.
We have written some of my personal favorite songs. We've written a lot of K-pop together, which is just so wild and random. But like it was just this incredible with
When you
and-
discovered I could speak Korean, that was
Right. That's still history. But we've written some of my
Wait, hang
favorite
on.
songs.
You can actually
No,
speak.
no,
no.
we can't speak Korean.
Wouldn't that be
Oh
cool
my
if I
God.
could, though?
That
It
would
would
be
be
really
good,
cool.
actually. That would be amazing. Then we wouldn't have
Then
to.
we have to have it.
I mean, you could be speaking Korean in this picture.
Oh, look.
It
Oh,
might-
there we are. Yeah, it's so fun. Look
That's
at that.
us with Matt. Look how young. First of all, we
Oh
all
my
look so
goodness.
young.
Can we just talk
But
about Matt, bro?
looks so different. It's like a
Matt looks
different
like
human.
a teenager that grew out a beard.
No, it does, doesn't he? Matt. That's
Is that
fun.
what you're trying to do right
Yeah.
now? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to grow out that beard. No, but we have written tons of songs together. We even tried to like start a duo at
We
some
did.
point. I haven't got the domain for that.
I know.
We wrote songs. We have like,
We were listening to them yesterday. They're pretty cool.
they are pretty good actually.
So
What
you're
was the
performing some
name?
of
Wait,
them.
what was
Oh,
the
we're
name?
the Royal Travelers.
I
Is that
mean,
a
we'd
cool
love
name?
to hear a little
Vintage
something if that's what you're
soul.
offering.
Vintage Souls.
Was like your,
Yeah.
that was like the,
That was a good
You
one.
can throw a
Primo.
little of those in the podcast
Yeah.
if you want. We'll give you
Yeah.
the license.
Oh, no,
Lauren.
Yeah.
no live
Gratis
performance?
license for you, Lauren.
No,
No-
I
no live
already asked
performance?
Felicia if I could, and she said no to that.
We'll see. Maybe we throw some up. Yeah, but we've like made so much music together. We've traveled to Korea together a bunch of times. We should go back. And you're literally one of my favorite people to sing with, to write with. It's
So
just
sweet.
been like such a joy to make music with you. But before even all of Luke and coming to LA and everything, you were a country artist for a long time, Christian artist for a long time. You've like, oh, he's playing it. He's playing it.
There we are.
He decided to play it.
Come with me, baby.
There it is.
Pretty good.
pretty good.
I've never heard this.
You haven't?
You haven't heard these?
Haunting me, baby. Feeling the chill in the
Come
air.
on. So good.
Your body takes me.
Vibe.
I heard this.
No one but us in this ghost.
You got it? So you know this,
Oh,
Malachi.
you
I
do
do know
know
this
it.
song. I do know this song.
Yeah, this is good. Okay, you can fade it out. Thanks.
Okay, that is,
I love it.
Yes, we got it in.
We got it in.
Good job, Lauren. Good
We got
job.
it in.
Good job. Good job. No, but like, I can't, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know why we never just released any of that.
Maybe we can. Maybe we should.
I think you should and post it
I
on
think we
TikTok.
kinda
'cause
just
that's how-
did.
We could probably sell a lot of things.
We could
Just put it
probably
on
sell, like-
Malachi's TikTok.
Yes.
Let him put them out there and we're good.
Mal,
We
I-
can
They're
probably
using
have
me.
at
Nice
least-
one.
Yeah, we're using you.
At least 5 people will stream it.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
4,
4, 5, 6. Luke's in on it.
7.
Oh, Jason's in too. All
All
right.
right,
Do we
Jason's
have an
in.
eight? Do we
I
have an
love it. I love it. And
No.
you've made a transition from music too. And now you guys are like producing movies and projects and all kinds of things. Like, what is
Felicia, I've made a
that?
career on faking it till I make it. Okay, the reality is, it's just like we'll do whatever. We'll do whatever. No, it's Look, I
I'd
guess
say faithing it till you made it.
That's great.
Faith
There you go.
that.
Faithing it till you
Faith
make it.
it
That's
till you
good.
make
Guys, I
it.
just made that up.
You
We're
did.
tossing it
We
on the
trademarked
merch.
that
I just
before
made it
somebody
up.
steals it.
I love
I like
that.
that.
We faithed it till we made it.
Faith in it till we make it.
You know,
Yeah.
it's
make
been
merch.
it's been a scenario in life where we got married young. We had Luke, and 2 weeks before our first anniversary, we were 20 when we got married, basically. And so, gosh, a lot of decisions once you have responsibilities so young,
Yeah.
as an artist and a creative, are kind of based upon those responsibilities. My dream would have been to be the next Bono. The reality is, God brought us together young. We had a young family,
Yeah.
but yet we were full of creativity, adventure, risk, and just so happened that he brought two people together, her and
Yeah.
I, that were so simpatico when it came to let's go after dreams. There's no safe here, and so with that, consequently, after I'll be 31 years in May, we've been married.
I thought you were saying you're going to be
I thought
31
I was
years
like, no,
old.
you're not.
I was just
You're
gonna let him
lying.
do it.
31 years
Wouldn't
old.
that be
in
Until
May?
you makes it.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I was just gonna
You
be
and
like,
Luke are so
okay.
close.
31 years married. See, that's why you got to listen to the whole sentence.
What's
So
he
Aaron
trying to
was
do,
one
Luke?
when-
What's going on?
I thought you were saying you were 30.
These lights make me look good. Is that we are actors, we are artists,
Yeah.
we are writers, we
Yeah.
are producers, we're directors, we're dancers. You should see me dance.
I have seen you
yeah,
dance.
you have. You don't want to see that. Anyway, the point is, it's a journey of an entire family that are willing to take risks and be there for each other while we do.
I love
And
that.
I'm grateful for that.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad. Luke, it's kind of a cool thing that you and I both grew up in musical families. I feel like that's also helped me in my journey in the entertainment business, is like having my mom, like what we talked about earlier, having my mom to help me out with some coaching stuff when I'm a little pitchy
You're
on
welcome.
certain days. Do you think that coming from a family that was such a creative family in the entertainment business, do you think that has in a way helped your journey?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I was encouraged. I took dance. If we're on the topic of dance, I danced.
Yes, you did.
I didn't. Did I love it?
No. Okay, fair enough.
But
Can
it
you
was in
dance better
pursuit-
than your dad?
Yes. It was in the pursuit of being well-rounded, right? Of being being able to bring multiple things to the table. So yeah, I mean, as far as that, yeah, I mean, they knew the emphasis with which it would take as I grew up to be able to, at least hold my own. Like, am I gonna win So You Think You Can Dance? No. It's never my calling. But can I learn choreography? Yeah, I can. And that
Yeah.
well with the two musical pilots. I tested the waters in music when I was in middle school. I toured a couple of times with this I don't even know how you describe it. Just tour, I guess. And it was called I Shine. We would like perform at like youth groups, from what I remember.
I love it.
So I tested it out there. But yeah, I mean,
Wait,
growing
Luke,
up in the community-
Luke, let's pull up your music video
Oh, what? Come on.
Oh,
It's
that's
called
right.
Everyday Hero.
that
Luke
we
Benward.
shot in
I've
our
seen
garage.
this. I've seen
Huh?
this.
Yeah.
We shot it in our garage.
yeah.
Everyday Hero. Do we have
Everyday
that?
Hero.
Is it on YouTube?
Yes.
Yes, on YouTube.
To just to keep from the imminent surprise, it is before puberty. My voice is very, very high. So
Okay.
just to keep
And
from
are we gonna get
shock
copyrighted?
value.
No, we
No.
won't.
It's
We're
all
my
buying
we
fault.
own
it.
it.
I wrote it.
Oh, you do own it. Yep. Nope.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, this is Everyday Hero. Actually,
Incoming.
oh, here it is.
Everyday Hero.
Here it is.
Let's go.
Wait, you filmed this in your garage?
Right.
Yes.
Who's that?
That's
Luke.
Luke.
Oh,
What are we?
That was that old video camera that I recorded all the auditions on.
No way.
That's what I recorded auditions on.
Oh, the little one is in his hand.
Yeah.
I used to have one like that.
For all of our viewers, that's a video recorder.
Mini
Mini
DV.
A
DV.
mini DV recorder.
That's really Luke
baby
right there.
Luke.
Oh, little buddy.
who's that?
Me.
That's
Oh,
me.
baby.
Oh
Look
my
at the hair,
gosh.
baby. Come on, dude.
It's crazy how much you and Luke look like each other.
I know, right?
It's unbelievable.
It is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Also, that looks
Yes.
What you doing? First haircut.
It's Gracie.
so cute.
Hey, buddy.
He started singing in a minute.
gosh.
It's a long intro, though.
Yeah, it was a long intro.
It's that MOMager life.
Who edited this? Yeah, you
Yeah.
did,
Yeah.
MOMager.
Directed. Production design, director, editor, producer.
It's hard to edit this kind of stuff because everything means so much to you. It's so personal. You want to show it all, right?
Yeah, he's sweeping the garage, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
turn
get
into a
nuts.
microphone.
Yeah.
So this is what it feels like to grow up.
Maybe I haven't seen it.
Hey,
I want some
post-fader delay. I heard that.
Like it?
Not too little, not too much. I can take some steps alone this time. But you know that
Hit chorus.
I'll
Here it comes.
never ever leave you behind.
It's cookie.
I'm leaving who I am because of you. Oh,
Shout out to the guys that were like a few years older than me that were playing instruments in the background.
They were faking it. Yeah, they're airplane.
Yeah.
Yep.
What exact happened?
Shout out to your hair.
We did have a little set though. I forgot.
Did you make that? The set?
We did. Yes.
Remember that. That's enough.
Yeah.
This goes on
that's
and on.
amazing. Good
Good.
job. Good job. Good
Great job.
job.
I haven't seen that
I
for a
love
minute.
that.
That was so good.
Wow.
That's,
Oh, that was
that's
so
the
good.
influence of a musician family on.
That's
on him there,
incredible.
Malachi.
That was
There you
great.
go.
That's absolutely incredible. I have so much to unpack from that later when I rewatch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
'Cause
so
that's a lot.
what I'm sensing here is this is going to be a 7 or 8 hour podcast, right? Is that
We'll have 4 parts.
we're gonna test the limits of the Zoom cloud recording? I
That's
think.
right. And next
That's
week,
exactly
again,
it.
the Benwards are back.
Right. I mean, because really, guys, there's so much we could talk about. I mean, shoot, we've been in a fantasy football group together.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
for
all the things.
how many years now?
Yep. What? Gosh, 7, 8 years? 7
Are you guys
Yeah.
still doing that?
Oh, more.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
because I need to join. I feel like I'm old enough to join
Well,
now.
We may have an
You
opening.
are.
Well, I mean, look, you may be looking at this past season's runner-up
Yes, you
And
are.
the-
We are.
You know
champ
what
from
they
the
say about
season
taking
before.
place.
Numbers.
But he was the champion the
Our
year
first
before.
loser.
He's on a roll. Give him that.
Yes.
What
yes.
are the stats on who's won? What are the
I don't
stats
need-
for you
we don't-
guys?
we don't wanna
I
talk
feel like
about it.
Lauren's won a lot.
Luke, how many
we-
times have you won?
We don't want to talk about that.
In my other league?
Okay, so we'll save the spin-off fantasy football podcast for
For another-
later.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
Totally.
There's so much work as a commissioner. It's just hard to.
It's hard to focus on your team, isn't it? Yeah, I get that. I get that.
No, and I will say you are the best commissioner we've ever had.
Yes.
And Julian Sergio, who we saw earlier, was the
Previous.
commissioner for quite some time. But man, you've crushed it.
I haven't seen Julian in ages. I miss that guy.
It's true.
He's an
So
awesome
it's
dude.
interesting. I joined fantasy football because of family dinner. And
Meeting everybody at family dinner.
Yeah.
Segue.
yeah. Did you like that?
Nicely
All right.
done, Lauren.
Good job,
That
Dad.
was nice.
Shortly after we moved to Nashville, we didn't know anyone. We didn't have any sense of
Nashville?
community. I'm sorry. Shortly after we moved from Nashville.
From Nashville to LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
to
Shortly
LA.
after we moved from Nashville to LA,
Yeah.
we didn't have community, didn't know anyone. Like you guys were saying, we just had big dreams as a family. We were going after it. And we got invited to a Sunday night family dinner at
I
y'all's
think
house.
we had written together and that's how we met.
That's how we
And
met.
then you
Right.
were like, you should come to family
Yeah.
dinner. And
And-
we, yeah.
Because he was just kind of getting rocking and
Yeah.
acting.
Yeah. He was.
Because we overlapped in Nashville a little bit living there, but y'all never connected
Mm-mm.
then.
No,
I
we
remember
didn't know
y'all would
each other
hear,
then.
hey, you
Mm-mm.
should write with
No.
Aaron, and Aaron was hearing about
Yeah.
you, and it wasn't until we all ended up
Yeah.
in LA that y'all connected. But then something really special happened
Yeah.
for us in terms of just family and community when y'all invited us over. So that was so meaningful to us because we started to, it's one thing to have a dream creatively, have so much inside of yourself, but be in a space where there's not many people like you and you can feel very isolated. But then when you find your people, it's so empowering to go, okay, you get me and I get you. You know, we go
Yeah.
through similar things and we can all of a sudden, and that was when Malachi was just starting to show signs of, you know, wanting to be in acting and, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, we have someone we can talk to about this, you know.
And that was really important for us too, to have we wanted Malachi to see, the big boys.
Yeah.
We wanted him to see the guys that he could look up to, not just as actors, but as humans, and that he could see, I want to be like them. And it's different, obviously, like paths are different, and the things that happen in life are different, but like he needed mentors.
Yeah.
And so it was a real gift for us to be invited into that space. And I know that space was for a lot of teenagers, so you guys even letting our little kid come in and like ransack the place.
Being the really annoying 6-year-old.
No, you know what it was for? It was for artists. It was for whoever was supposed to be there was supposed to be there. That's really who it was for.
Well, you guys tell us a little bit about family dinner and that time in your life. Whoever wants to.
Yeah, how did that start?
Yeah, I mean, you want to start?
Well, sure. When we moved to LA in 2012, and we really felt like we heard kind of this. We call it what's the little thing?
Loud thoughts.
Loud thoughts, right? Like when God whispers a loud thought to you. We felt like we heard God whisper a loud thought to us of, you're going to do something called family dinner. You're going to bring every artist that you can together for whoever wants to come, and you're going to provide like a surrogate home for them, because there's a lot of orphans in LA, that have left their families in other states and other cities and chasing their dreams. And so we had dancers and comedians and actors and singers and you name it, and they were welcome. And so on any given Sunday, we would have anywhere from 20 to say 40 people show up. Our very first person to ever come, we had one person come, the very first family dinner we ever had. We made spaghetti, and it was Maia Mitchell.
Oh, Maia.
Yep. Luke had worked with her on Zombies and Cheerleaders. She was the lead of that. And we got to town, and we were here 5 days, and we said, let's have family dinner. And she was our first guest.
Wow.
And then the
She
next
just moved
week,
from Australia too, so
That's right.
Really?
she had just moved from Australia.
She needed community for sure.
Yeah. And remember that day what happened?
oh yeah, we
Tell them what happened that day. Tell them what happened.
living on the Burbank Hill,
Yeah.
and my southern.
We've only been here 5 days.
Good job, Luke. That's PG. Good job. Good job.
we bleep out a lot of things on this, so it's fine. You're fine.
Go
Go
Speak your
for
mind,
it.
bro. Speak your mind.
My southern was like,
Yeah.
climb the hill. We climbed the hill, and come to find out that the hill is littered with rattlesnakes. So I'm not sure if they buy rattlesnakes.
Rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We climbed the hill. Me and Maya and Gracie, I think.
Yeah.
Gracie in their bathing suits,
No.
barefoot.
Barefoot.
And this is not a hill. This is a mountain.
Yeah.
So you have two southern kids and a girl from Australia.
Exactly.
That's what you get when you put those two together.
Exactly.
They're used to rattlesnakes and snakes and stuff like that out there in Australia.
that's
So she probably would have.
I mean, this is a hill that once you go up, you can't go back down.
Right.
Go ahead,
The
Luke.
kind of hill where like you climb it and like climbing it, like you're climbing,
Yeah.
It doesn't feel that bad, but then when you get to the top, you look down, you're like,
Eh.
that's gonna be tough to like get down
Yeah.
without like rolling. So I get to the top, and at the top is like the top tier of the houses in the neighborhood. It's not like it's not like wildland.
Right.
And so we climb the fence, and the responsible thing, at least in my mind at that point, is to get to the top and then walk down through the neighborhood back to the house. Well, I'm coming, out from this person's backyard. So we're kind of like, the windows downstairs are like blacked out, and like they're like, hiding something there in that little bottom here.
How
knows
old are
what?
you, Luke? Help me out here. How old are you?
I'm 16.
Okay,
Okay.
16, 17. Yeah.
16. And so we're like, we'll just sneak out the side here and we'll be gone. Well, we get around the corner, the guy's in his garage, door open in his garage. And so I'm like, oh gosh, you guys go out first. The girls go out first. And he's like,
Why are there girls in bathing suits coming out of my backyard?
he's like very confused. So I'm like, all right, that's a good icebreaker. I come out and it's like, red in his eyes, like he thinks that I was doing, like, I don't know what he thought I was doing. He's like, I have my gun right here. I could have shot you. You can't be doing that. Like, I'm sorry, I just moved here. Like, I live below you. We climbed the hill and I'm trying to get home. And I think at some point during the course of that conversation, you realize that like I was 16. At 16, I looked older.
Yeah.
And he sent us on our way. Well, he ended up coming down and like banging on the door and talking to them about like, blah, 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 kind of still berating them, And then he ends the whole interaction with, and welcome to LA. And he just
that's amazing.
Yeah, he said, this is not Tennessee. You can't just go walking through people's backyards here because you're gonna get shot. Welcome to LA.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay.
Wow. That's amazing. Welcome to LA.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's
Ooh,
you're
that was a
not
great
in
welcome.
Kansas anymore, right? Like
Yeah.
we're
That's
Tennessee.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And this is the first family
This is
dinner.
our first family
first
dinner.
day.
So we had
First
spaghetti
day.
that night. We swam a little bit and then that was it. And then the next week, I think we had 5 people.
Wow.
And then we had 10 and then we had 20 and then
And
we
it
had
went
30.
on for how long?
Almost
2
2
years.
years.
2 years.
Almost 2 years. Yeah. And it was just a very special, suspended moment in time.
Yeah.
And if you got to come and be a part of family dinner,
It's legendary.
it's legendary
Yeah.
because
there's a video that you guys did that
Disney
Disney
Channel
Channel
did. Yeah,
did.
they came
Yeah,
in and-
I actually found it the other day.
Wait, huh?
There's Disney Channel came in like
They
did a
little bit
behind
on
the
it, a little-
scenes
Of family dinner.
family dinner. Yeah, it was so
No
cute.
way.
I'll
It was
show
fun.
it to you later.
yeah,
It's really
it's really
cute. Yeah.
cute.
Well, I feel like you guys also built such a great community out of it too. And I think we may have a couple members of that community that would like to share their love and appreciation for family dinner and for that time of their lives. So, Dad, if you want to pop that up, that would be amazing.
I would be honored to.
This is a
I love
surprise. That's so
this.
cool.
Hey, Benward. Just wanted to say we love you and we are so grateful to know you. And I look back at our time in LA at family dinner and the time that I got to spend with you. It is an absolute moment that I cherish and I'm grateful for. And I look back on this great mission that you guys had, and you guys were always a home base for so many people and influencing under your own roof, and then those people going out to influence the rest of the world. So you guys are incredible, and I just love you, and I'm so inspired by you, and look forward to the rest of what your mission is. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure God has something great in store for you. Love you.
Love you.
Family dinner. You guys, family dinner. I miss it. I really, really miss it. I wish that we kept doing that because it was so important to me. And it was so important, I think, for like a lot of our growth here in Los Angeles. We did Cloud9 and met Luke and then met the family. I don't know. It's just so important for my transition into Los Angeles. I felt like, hey, I had a home. I had a family. So I just want to thank you guys so much and let you know how important that was to me.
Kenda, Aaron, Luke, Dexter Darden here, and I've known you guys since I was this old. But words cannot explain how much the Benwards mean to me. Kenda and Aaron, the example that you guys have set for me as parents, people of God, mentors. Luke, the brother you have been to me throughout my entire life and career. Words cannot explain the blessing you guys are to me and my family. I love you, thank you, and I cherish you.
Say, hey, KB, hey, AD, we love you. But we love you. Hi. We just wanted to thank you, really, for being who you are to us, to so many people over the course of, 15 years now of friendship and family and love. You guys continue to exemplify every part of what community means and what it takes a village means and what unconditional love and support and generosity means. And we strive to be like you guys in that way and providing that for people here in Brooklyn. And we just love
We're
you.
grateful for your mentorship and just showing us how to be good parents and partners and humans and neighbors.
Yeah.
We definitely owe a lot of the things that we take away from life that are important. We see how you guys live your life.
Completely.
And we want that too.
We sure do. Riley said, he's got to take me somewhere. But, we love you so much.
Hi, Mom and Dad. Family dinner. I was probably when I was like 12 to when I was like 16. And they truly were some of the most sacred and special memories that I'm going to treasure forever. I wish I was the age I am now and I could have gotten to experience what all the young adults got to experience, but I was still living up my life and like learning from all these people and learning from you guys, and you're pushing people to the Lord in such a graceful and kind, patient way, and you were just sharing who you are and who God's made you to be to all these young adults in LA. And I actually was telling somebody about family dinner today after my rehearsal, and they were talking about how amazing that was, and they like wish they had something like it. And it's definitely so special to be able to, one, call you guys our parent, call you guys my parents, but to know that you provided such a sacred and special place for people like me and young artists who are struggling and need community. That is something that I will cherish forever. So I love you guys. Sorry the lighting is bad. Not my best.
Lighting.
Right.
Hi, Mom and Dad. What a gift you both are to me, your two other kids, and every other young adult that came through your doors and sat in your kitchen, in your backyard, around the fire, and just felt loved on by you. In a city that can feel lonely, you guys were a space and a place of love for so many people, including your own kids. Family dinner for the better part of 2 years was the best part of my week, consistently over and over and over again. And I have you guys to thank for that, for jumping in to what you felt like you were called to do, which is create a community of actors and artists and make them feel seen and loved and heard. And simultaneously, you were raising up your kids in such an amazing community with so many amazing friends and so many amazing memories. Those are some of the best days of my entire life. I love you both so much, and thank you for everything.
There we go.
Wow. Thank you guys.
My second cry on this podcast.
It's so interesting. You know,
Do we have tissues?
Yeah. You think it's this interesting kind of intersection of natural and unnatural. Here's what I mean. The natural for us, this is about behind the scenes of families. The natural is to, give me a second here, is to see in your kid what God has given them, the gift. That's the natural for us as parents, right? We're in tune, if we're connected. Our job as parents is to then bring out, enhance, support, elevate that natural. The unnatural is when we get into what this is that we are into, and that is this business, this entertainment space, this scenario where it's can be fueled by what is mine, what is self, everything that I need to get, inflation of ego, competition so I can get it before they do.
Right. Yeah.
All those things are unnatural to the gift. And so what we try with family dinner is give them a moment of natural in this unnatural environment. And little did we know, I think, just the impact that it was having, and to hear some of those stories and of our own children being affected by it. Thank you for taking the time to do that for us.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Oh,
especially in this phase of our life.
I'll never forget the first time I came, and Aaron, you would get up, Kenda, you were in the kitchen making this beautiful meal, and then you gather everybody into the living room, and you would share a few words, Aaron, and it was something along the lines of, look, in this town, everybody wants something from you all the time. But tonight, we don't want anything from you. There's no agenda here. This is your space. All we want is to give you a meal and let you feel that you have a home. And it was simple.
Well, you have to understand, like, when I sit in this and just soak up what we're doing here, you guys, MOMager is a 100% a connection from that, because you guys are bringing into the ethos, bringing into the atmosphere of people's phones, rooms, TVs, homes, the perspective of something that they perceive to be potentially negative. How dare you allow your kid to be in this business?
Right.
Well, no, what they don't understand is you brought the natural out of your child and then you put him into an unnatural space. However, taking what God has given you for him to give him the ability to be successful in the gift that God has given him.
Yeah.
It just so happens to be in a crazy, weird town and city and scenario. So what you guys are doing, tissues on set. Thank you.
Jorge, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
And so even beyond like all the people that have been on here and will be on here, this pulling back of a veil of something that seems to be can be so saccharine and counterfeit to the authentic.
Absolutely.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Right? The authentic journey of a young artist with parents that are not living through them.
Right.
But living with them and for them.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
That's really well said. Thank you for saying that,
It
all
is.
of that. Just
Absolutely.
sharing that.
And family dinner wasn't, it wasn't what we were doing. It was we were doing. It was what the collective we were doing.
Yeah.
Right? That's what made it so remarkable.
Yeah.
And so special. And I mean, I don't know. I think we should do the clap.
I love it. Malachi might not remember.
The what?
That's it. Yes. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Let's go.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
And now I'm kind of starting
That's
to
applause
remember.
number 3.
Yeah, applause number 3. You got it. You got it. You got a triple crown. Triple crown.